Hey there, welcome to class today. So for today's class, we'll be doing a combination of postures, either seated or lying down. You can do this on the floor, and you can also do this in bed if you want to sit up a little bit higher off the floor. So a few props that you'll want for practice today. A folded up blanket or a towel. And if you have a couple of these, that would be great too if you want some extra support. And then your yoga strap or your substitute. So let's go ahead and get started coming into a comfortable seat. And if you find that this is challenging in your hips, something that could be really helpful is to sit on top of your folded up blanket or towel. Some of you may have yoga blocks at home, and you can also sit on top of that. But what this does is just help you sit up a little bit taller, taking some pressure off of the hips, even the knees. And if you don't want to sit on top of it, that's fine too. So let's spend a few moments here just centering into our practice, leaving whatever you were doing beforehand off of the mat and trying to come into this moment as best as you can. Allowing the eyes to close, rooting into the sit bones, extending the top of the head towards the sky. Now let's take a deep breath in. Shoulders coming up towards the ears on the inhale, and then as you exhale, allowing the shoulders to release downward. And then simply breathing naturally here. Noticing your natural inhales as they come in. Noticing the exhales as they leave the body. And if you're able to, maybe the spaces in between the inhales and the exhales. If it's uncomfortable to have the eyes closed, you can always take a soft gaze. Wherever you're at, just noticing your breath flowing in and flowing out. It might even be helpful to place your hand on any area of the body where you feel breath. And bringing to mind what motivated you to show up to your practice today. Perhaps you wanted to relax or stretch out. That intention to yourself as if it's happening right now. If it was to relax, maybe saying aloud, I am relaxed, or I have the ability to relax. Even saying it a few times. Then when you're ready, releasing the hands back towards the knees if they were on the body. And let's take the feet out wide. You can either stay sitting on top of your blanket or you can not sit on the blanket, just whatever feels right for you. And so as we take the feet out wide, we should feel a nice little stretch in the back of the legs. And adjusting our pelvis. So if we're rounding back, what we want to do is have the pelvis more neutral. So that way our shoulders are stacked above the hips. Now, if this is uncomfortable to have your legs out wide, what you can do is roll up your towels or your blankets. Bend your knees and place the blankets underneath the knees for support. So as we begin to fold forward, you're not worried about trying to keep the legs up. You can just soften into the posture. And if you don't have them, just bring your feet a little closer together. So whatever works for you, and you're welcome to always play with the posture. So remembering we're passively stretching, folding forward at the waist, and then going down towards the floor, and we're not worried about reaching as far forward as you can. Try to bring your belly closer towards the floor. You can use your arms as support or your forearms. And then we're simply allowing the torso to relax. We can let the feet relax. The neck can also relax. So not pushing or pulling ourselves into the posture, just softening downwards. And noticing where you feel the stretch. So you might feel it in the back of the legs. Some of us might feel it in our lower back, maybe both. I'm just trying to dwell here in this passive stretch. Seeing if we can find more relaxation and ease versus striving. The mind is beginning to wander, just finding something to tune into. It could be the posture, noticing the stretch in the body. It could be the music. My favorite is always the breath, just tuning towards the breath. But knowing that sometimes we have challenges with different anchors. So whatever will keep you the most present, whatever you can really sit with and pay attention to. Finding that source, that anchor to bring you here into this moment. And as we've had some time here, maybe you find that you can fold forward a little bit more. Maybe it's gotten to be too much and you need to lift up a little bit more. We all have our own individual practice, so just tuning in. Finding a nice stretch versus any sort of pain. And then when you're ready, just allowing the torso to gently roll up. And then let's go ahead and come back into an easy seated pose. And then whatever foot you have in the front, go ahead and switch it up so it's in the back. And again, you can sit on top of your blanket here if you need a little bit more height. Neutral pelvis, so if you notice you're rocking back, try to get the shoulders above the hips, tilting the pelvis so it's neutral and not tilting backwards. So let's take a deep breath in, bringing the arm up towards the sky. Take the opposite hand behind you, rotate at the waist, then rotate at the shoulders, and then take the neck and rotate it so that way the nose is pointing over the back shoulder, allowing the extended arm to release down towards the leg, and then just holding here. Again, avoiding trying to actively move your body or actively stretch, just finding enough of a rotation so you feel the stretch in the lower back, and then holding here. Try to release the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe closing the eyes or taking a soft gaze. Finding some comfort with the breath, noticing how the breath moves through the body with each inhale and exhale. Sometimes we notice that our mind is elsewhere. Anytime that we notice we've got lost in our thoughts, just coming back into our posture, into this moment. And then when you're ready, allowing the head to come back to center, the shoulders, and then the waist. And let's get that on the opposite side. So extending the opposite arm upward, letting the top of the head lift towards the sky, reaching the hand behind us, rotating from the bottom up. So the waist, the chest, the shoulders, and then the neck, allowing the hand to lower down, and just going far enough till you notice that little stretch, that rotation in the lower back, gazing over the back shoulder. Mindful of where your thoughts are again, coming back if you're getting distracted. Releasing back to center when you're ready. So let's take the bottom of the feet, bring them together. Letting the outsides of the legs release downward. And again, with this one, if you need a little extra support, you can always place the rolled up blankets underneath the outsides of the legs. Bringing the feet towards you, but again, watching our pelvis. So if you notice you're rounding back a little bit, tilting the pelvis so it's neutral, shoulders start above the hips. When you're ready, gently folding forward, allowing the hands to release down. We can release the head, the neck, and the shoulders. And this tends to be one where people start, maybe flapping their legs or really trying to get their nose down. Remember, we're passively stretching, so just allow everything to soften downward. Let go of all effort or striving, and just relax. Might feel this in your lower back, the groin area. Our intention isn't to strive or to get super deep. We're make progress every single time. It's just to experience the moment as it is. And tuning into what feels right now. Right? That things change from day to day, even moment to moment. Accepting when the mind begins to wander. Coming back again and again. Perhaps as you sit here, it gets to be easy. And once it gets easy, then try to soften down a little bit more, try to relax a little more. If it gets to be too much, just lifting the torso up or maybe bringing the knees up higher. To find ease and softness in the posture. Maybe even some ease in whatever thoughts or emotions are coming up. Notice you might even notice how the body moves even though it feels like we're still. Ready, slowly lifting the torso up. And let's go ahead and come down onto the floor, onto our bellies. Moving any props out of the way. So going ahead and letting either the big toes touch, but if that's challenging on your lower back, take your feet out a little bit wider, maybe hip distance apart. And if it's still a little bit tight, you can always take the feet out even wider. So let's place the elbows underneath the shoulders, gazing forward to where, if you're looking at a wall or any sort of L-shaped environment, just taking your gaze to where the floor and the wall would be. Try to melt the shoulders away from the ears. And if you find you need a little extra support for this posture, you can take your rolled up blanket or towel, placing it underneath the upper abdomen for a little more support. And if this is still bothering your lower back, you can take the elbows a little bit more forward, but try to keep the elbows in line with the shoulders. And this is a little challenging, but try to let everything relax, especially the lower body. So if you notice that the glutes are clenching or the legs are clenching, just try to relax. Hold here as we stretch our lower back. Maybe coming home to the breath. You notice we're getting lost in thoughts. Elbows a little closer towards you if they're forward. Just finding that spot where you feel the stretch. You might be able to lift up a little bit higher in the chest. As you're ready, slowly rolling the chest down, bending the knees, letting the feet sway side to side. Allowing the feet to come back to center, lowering the legs down, and we'll roll onto our back. I think that could be helpful. Take your blanket and you can place it underneath the head and the shoulders. And again, if you don't have one, it's no big deal, just something nice to practice with. Have your strap or substitute nearby. Take a moment here just lying on your back. getting adjusted, breathing in and breathing out here. Let's go ahead and extend the left leg downward. And you may or may not want your strap for this one, but we'll extend the right leg towards the sky. And so you may or may not be able to reach for your big toe. Do not worry about it if you can't. So what we'll do is grab your strap or your substitute, place it around the arch of the foot, keeping your leg as straight as you can, letting the leg that's down towards the floor just relax. Try to bring the leg as close as you can towards the belly, keeping the leg as straight as possible. Again, minding the principle of passively stretching, so we're not actively trying to press or pulse the leg. Just find that sweet spot. And then allowing your hands to hold on to the strap or your substitute, and imagine them as just weights, gently holding onto the strap. And then when you're ready, just holding here, maybe allowing the eyes to close or that soft gaze. Back to your posture or your breath. The thoughts are going somewhere else, wherever they're going. Gently bend your knee, releasing the foot from the strap or releasing your hand from the foot. Let's get that on the opposite side. Straight leg, and it doesn't matter if the leg's all the way that way. Allowing the extended leg on the floor to just soften, and then the top leg, bringing it as close as you can, whatever that looks like today. Remembering not to strive, just letting the arms relax downward. Finding that anchor to keep you here. Keep your thoughts here, acknowledging this moment. Gently bending the knee, releasing the foot. We can move the strap towards the side, just letting it be out of the way. Plant the feet a few inches away from the glutes, about hip distance apart. Extend the arms behind you, and then allow the knees to release towards the left-hand side, nose pointing towards the sky. If you need any support, you can always place a rolled up towel or blanket underneath each leg or either leg. Coming back anytime that the thoughts are beginning to wander, to meander. Very slowly, let's bring the knees back to center. You can keep the arms extended behind you, and then lowering the knees to the opposite side. Again, if you need some support for the legs, you can place a rolled up towel or blanket underneath the leg. Doing your best to find ease in this posture, even if it's a little uncomfortable. As long as it's not painful and you don't feel any sharp tingling, be sitting with that discomfort for a little bit. Bringing the knees back to center, allowing the arms to come down along the side of the body, extending the legs downward, and we'll take a short little shavasana here, just nice and easy, allowing the body to rest. So traditionally, you just let the feet release out to the sides with the palms facing up, nose pointing towards the sky. But if you have any lower back issues, it may be more comfortable to plant your feet or even lie on your side. Just resting here for just a bit. Still trying to keep our attention here in this stillness. Gently coming back, bringing your attention here wherever the attention has gone. Rolling onto your side for a moment. Maybe using your arm as a support for the head. Feeling the connection of your body against the floor or whatever you're lying on. And then pressing yourself up. So let's take 3 breaths to end our practice. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Hands into heart center. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be at peace and may you be at ease. Thanks for practicing with me today.